It's Ash from Super Videos, back with another video for season 11 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some extremely interesting and exciting news when it comes to filming one of the final episodes of the series. There's been confirmation that there is a farm filming location. We can see that right here, and it's possible that they could be filming a major comic scene that took place at a farm at the end of the comic book series. And if that's the case, we're gonna dive into who's gonna get that story. Obviously in the comics it was Carl, but in the TV adaptation it might be Judith, it might be RJ, or it might be someone else. So stay tuned, we'll be right back to break it all down. Alright, as always, before we dive into this, smash that like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right in. So this is actually the picture of the farm that they're gonna be filming in for one of the final scenes of the series. It's actually a pretty beautiful shot. The sky is beautiful, but that's beside the point. The point is that this is obviously directly linked to the final moment, I think, of the comic book series, where we have Carl Grimes in the farm. I don't think that this could be anything else. I mean, it has to be. Doesn't make sense for it to be anything else, unless they're gonna bring a farm but not do that scene, but then that would anger a lot of fans, in my opinion. Like, if you're gonna do that scene, just do that scene. You know what I mean? Don't tease it and then not do it. So the big question is, who's gonna get that? Obviously, Carl is dead. They could bring Rick back and have Rick have this scene with RJ, but then that takes away from that whole scene and the meaning behind that story, because that story was all about Carl telling the story of Rick Grimes to his daughter Sophia. So does it make sense for Rick to be telling the story of himself to RJ or Judith? No, it would be very cheesy. So I don't think that this is gonna involve Rick, or I mean, it's not gonna be Rick telling the story. So would it be Judith or would it be RJ? It would probably have to be Judith, and the reason for that is because Judith is more of a critical character when it comes to the Rick story. I mean, she's pretty much involved in what happened to Rick as well at the end, because she knows that he might be alive. So there's that aspect of it as well. But other than that, I feel like more of Rick's legacy was passed on to Judith than to RJ. You know what I mean? So because of that, I feel like it would work a lot better if they have it done with Judith. But obviously, they would have to do the comic version and have a time jump. Judith is telling this story to her kid, which does also complicate things when it comes to the spin-offs and the movie and everything like that. So they might be doing something where it's just a one-off, like it's gonna be a huge time jump and then we get this scene, but they're never gonna come back to it. Something like that, which would obviously suck as well. And obviously they could do the same sort of thing, but with RJ. More underwhelming in my opinion, but also a possibility. There's a third possibility as well. Have this go down with RJ and Judith. So have Judith tell this story of Rick Grimes to her little brother. But then that doesn't quite fit because they've spent a lot of time together anyway. So it's not like RJ hasn't heard the stories in the past. There's another way that the story could go though. And the only reason I'm even bringing this up is because of something that they teased in the last episode of The Walking Dead season 11, and also some rumors about Judith. And I'm not gonna get into all of that because I've done videos on them already, but there's a possibility that they might not do this with RJ and Judith at all. They might actually give this to Herschel Jr. and have this story not be about Rick, but Glenn. A little underwhelming if you compare it to the comic version, and if you kind of think about the Rick Grimes legacy and how the show started and this series being about Rick, then it's obviously underwhelming. But I think it might be a direction that they go if they push themselves into a corner where they can't do exactly the same scene with Judith or RJ. The same way that they did the Carl thing in the comics. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to go through. I mean, my preference, if they're gonna do this scene, is to give it to Judith. In my opinion though, not doing this scene is better. It just doesn't really fit the story anymore. Because Rick is not in the story. He hasn't been in the story for quite a long time. The only reason why it was big in the comics is because he was a part of the Commonwealth story. But he's not a part of the Commonwealth story, so it just wouldn't feel the same, in my opinion. But I'm definitely interested to know everyone's thoughts and opinions about this. Do you think that the fact that they're gonna be filming at a farm is confirmation that they're doing that scene from the comics? Or do you think that they're gonna do something slightly different? And also, if you think they're gonna do it, who do you think is gonna get it? Is it gonna be Judith? Is it gonna be RJ? Or is it gonna be Herschel Jr.? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.